My name's Adam Schluter, and I have always been two things. I've always been someone that loves to travel and experience cultures and life. The other thing I've always loved is photography. As I would spend more time in new places and experiencing new cultures, I really wanted to interact with people. I wanted to learn more about the places I was in. I wanted to hear more about their stories and just showing such a diverse, beautiful, colorful world. And what I ended up finding was a tremendous journey of vulnerability, of learning about myself, how to connect with people. Every single story, every single situation, these are all people that I approached less than minutes before we started filming. All I did was approach them with vulnerability and just ask questions, be curious with them, and then we both shared in our stories together. When I was thinking about a new place to bring this project, the first place that immediately came to mind was Mexico. Mexico is a place that I lived in for 3 years and always struck me with its simplicity and beauty. I was coming from this very complicated lifestyle of chasing dreams in a big city, and I was isolated, I was disconnected, I wasn't close to people, I didn't have time. I got my dream offer and I didn't want it. I couldn't live that disconnected lifestyle anymore. And so I had no clue what to do. I had some friends living down in Mexico and they told me to come on down. And I came into Mexico and it's just a whole different world of culture. I'm in a country where I wasn't fluent in Spanish. I didn't look like anybody else in this place that I was in, but I felt more at home there than I had felt in Los Angeles. And all these new conversations, all these new moments, all these times when I would allow myself to really experience an adventure that I was on in Mexico, I felt more alive than I had ever felt. And I just started to fall in love with this idea of simplicity, this idea of connection, this idea of communities. I never forgot how Mexico had impacted me, that life is about relationships and life is about simplicity. It never left me.
In the last 7 days, I've walked almost 50 miles on foot. I've gone everywhere in every direction, just literally branching out from this square where we're in right now. I will go to a city by myself. I'll spend a week there by myself. And what I'm always doing is I'm just walking around exploring every single square inch of that city as I can by myself. And then I start to slowly throughout those days, as I get more comfortable, interact more with people, talk more with people. The conversations get longer and deeper and better from there. We're walking through the main square in Guadalajara, right behind the cathedral, and then there's all these kids in black. It turned out to be a high school senior picture. It's the last time they're all going to be together. Hola, ¿cómo está? Bien, bien. No inglés, solo español.
Solo español.
¿No aprendes inglés en la escuela? English? Hello.
Hello.
What's your name? So we got a chance to just walk inside and get to know everyone inside. The one thing that transcends all languages is just laughter and just smiles. And so we put all the class together and then we put the one boy in the middle and then we had everyone bounce him up and down and you just get this absolute laughter and life that comes out of this. Oh my gosh, hola. Lo siento, mi hermano. Mi español es muy malo. Estoy fotógrafo con Estados Unidos, de Estados Unidos. So stay like this, okay? Momento, okay? Mira ahí. Sí. Sí, yeah, muy bien. Come on.
Beautiful little moments. Beautiful.
One of the main reasons why I love to travel to third world countries or simple places around the world is this. People without technology, without phones, without TVs. There's kids playing in the street. There's people having fun. Everyone's sitting and talking. And it's just this beautiful reminder that life is all about connection. And we can have these simple moments when we strip away all the stimulus and we just allow ourselves to spend time with one another. Simplicity always equals joy.
One moment, please.
So I just got this email, and the email said, I'm very happy for this day. More because it was my first date, and now it will be reflected. Thank you very much. That very well could have been their first kiss. That probably was their first kiss. And that's why that whole moment was so sincere and so humble and so innocent. And you just never know. You just really never know when you just stop and take a moment in someone's life and just capture something. A lot of locals have been telling me about this little town called Tequila. There's a lot of action and movement and a lot of singing and a lot of dancing. And this guy comes up and starts talking to me, being really nice.
I want to know about the real Mexican culture. You gotta go to our small towns, bro. That's where you'll learn the real stuff. You'll know about everything you need to know. You don't have to go to Mexico City. Or you want to know about Mexican culture? Come with me, I got you.
His name is Ricardo. Ricardo was extremely just welcoming, and he brought me over to his family, and he was like, hey, listen, today you're a part of our family. And throughout that whole day, we just had an incredible time just connecting. And Ricardo helped me translate when I was wanting to talk to his family and hear their stories. When we were leaving, Ricardo said, listen, my family owns this big ranch. And I want you to come out there. I want you to see our town. And I want you to have dinner with us and, just spend more time with our family. Okay, we're coming. We're going to go. Ended up in La Barca, middle of nowhere, middle of the desert, just nothing, very agricultural, could not be more in the middle of nowhere. We just show up to this ranch and they all just come out and immediately just give us hugs and welcome us to their home. What's up, dude? Without a hat on, dude.
Yeah, but this is pretty much our home, man.
They did not have a lot of money. You could tell it was a very poor town. But they had gone out to get the best possible carne asada and were just, bringing every little thing out. Fresh pico de gallo, all this fresh food for us to eat. And just through that, we're just sitting around this table just having such a rich experience of not just our culture, but also in connection.
Santiago, See, that's a face. Come on, Stop being shy, bro. After that meal, he wanted to show me around his town, introduce me to more people, and we stayed out there through the night. This is more of a normal life to me.
No, that's what I was telling you out there. There's a lot of interesting things around the world, but when it comes to like you visiting a place you don't know, most of the time people just go to tourist where all the tourists go, and they just show you like the same thing. That's why when I met you, I was like, you know what? If you want to know about the Mexican culture, man, I can show you something of what I know. And I can show you around where I live, where I grew up. There's just plenty of stories out here. I almost flipped my quad right there when I was like 12 years old. Just messing around trying to impress little girls. So there's just a lot of stories that I have here.
And then in the nighttime, all these vendors come out and sell fresh fruit and coconuts and all these little snacks in the streets. And had all these incredible moments, and then that was it. It was just a beautiful, beautiful 2-day experience of just meeting a stranger and going back to dig in deeper and meet their families and just let them host you and take care of you. This is a beautiful moment that happens quite a bit in the world. The world's so welcoming and open. Really just pay attention, be intuitive. Do I trust this person? Do I trust this situation? And if you do, if you feel good about it, then you gotta just let go of the rest. We went from Guadalajara to Mexico City, and there's a lot of expressed fear over mainland Mexico, and people worry about cartels. And I just asked locals. Many people just told me, I think you're okay, like you're always going to be okay, but stay on the toll roads. And so that's what we did.
Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Cuánto?
Come on, dude. Here, look at this. Look at that.
No más dinero. One more toll. This is toll number 11 today.
Staying here?
Se quedan para llevar.
Para aquí. Sí, sí, sí.
Aquí se lo recibo.
Dale.
Ahí se lo recibo.
Sí, sí, sí.
When I was trying to figure out Mexico City, I immediately remembered Ioan Grillo.
Hey, how are you? Yeah, of course.
How's it going, man? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, sorry, we want to be safe.
Ioan Grillo was a narco journalist that I was introduced to about a year ago.
And the rest of the Mexican friends called America.
No one knew the actual crime in Mexico better than Ioan. And I asked for him to meet with us. So Ioan led us into the city park.
Perfect, yes. There you go, perfect, yeah.
Lucky sometimes.
One more, let me do this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, perfect, yes.
So do you want to grab a bench or do you want to just squat among the trees?
No, let's grab a bench. I really appreciate this time, Ioan.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah,
appreciate you,
good to talk.
This is something that means quite a bit to me, and I don't know if you looked into the project or what I do, but and we have so much fear in the States about travel. So much fear. TV, what you see on the TV, and it's like, oh my God. But some of it you don't see, and some of it you don't know. And so it's very stigmatized.
What you've got in Mexico is you've had this violence the last 15 years. But even in the places where it's very bad, it's strange that like this quite extreme violence exists around normal life.
So you got here 2001?
I arrived in Mexico November 30th.
Right before the
2000.
holidays.
I remember the day because it was the day before Vicente Fox became president of Mexico.
So how old are you now?
48.
48, amazing. And you've been doing this for 20 years. So on a personal level, how do you deal with the emotional basis? Knowing the danger of what you do for a living and the target that it kind of makes you. So you said you have a family and children.
That's kind of the same, I think, like policemen or like firemen and other jobs. I mean, you have to create certain spaces, mentally.
Yeah, but if
emotionally.
a police officer, arrests a gang member, it's not like they worry that the gang's going to come and kill their family.
All they do in Mexico. A lot of it's geographical spacing. I don't like to hang around with people in this lifestyle, in this environment too close to home.
So it's just a dangerous occupation. And I'm sure all these people understood to have some separation, but at a point you keep turning over stones. It'd be like you don't really ever know who to trust or ever know, certain situations, if it's safe to be in certain situations. Maybe after a story that you expose or something that you bring up,
Well, sure, you learn a lot about what you can and can't do. At the same time, I don't want to pretend or get the buzz of being invincible. So especially, you feel like, okay, I'll go around, I met some drug traffickers, everything was great. I went around, I was with some military, they shot some people, I was fine. So they start to get this invincibility feeling.
Where do you go from here? Do you have an exit plan? Do you just keep going with what you're doing? Do you ever leave Mexico City?
I'm interested now in doing other things. There's a big world, a lot of stories happening, a lot of things happening in the world. Interested in trying to find other angles and other different things happening in the United States, in England, in other places. In terms of journalism, I want to keep on, doing it. Journalism, communication. I'm not done yet, and will I ever be done? It's the kind of thing you can keep on doing in some ways until to your last breath.
And after all this time, you still believe in the quality of people. After all the things that you've seen.
Yeah. I mean,
now that you know what humans are capable of.
Human beings can be devils, and can be angels. I mean, it's a cliche now, but the line between good and bad, I think, goes inside every human's heart. It's not necessarily and even seeing the fact that human beings commit evil on an individual and a collective level, I still believe that we can do good.
So today, we don't really know. We're in the historic part of Mexico City. We're going to be walking through to the cathedral first, and we're just going to kind of branch out. We've done as much research as I think that we can do to then go out and see what we can find.
What's the point of doing anything if the things that I enjoy, the things that I like, I can do them just because of the age?
And it's such a beautiful thing. It's like we reserve the love that we have for one another for what we have together. You just see a lot here of couples just holding hands and just sitting, no phones, sitting together, just looking right at each other. And they were just sitting on this cute little seesaw, and they're just 3 inches away from each other, and they're just doing nothing except just smiling and laughing together. Remember? And like every little thing that's happening, like we just walked 100 feet and had 3 moments in those 100 feet. Interacted with all of them, beautiful moments out of all of them, quick connection out of some of them, deeper connection out of some of them, like just completely charged. And I don't know, just culture. Culture just ignites.
This used to be like one of the buildings in Mexico of human rights, and it's now a refugees for women, which are like women that have suffered violence. And on the weekends we do this type of events.
Okay.
And that money, some of them is for the refugees because themselves they sell stuff for them, and then we also sell stuff that goes to live day by day. Many of us have received citatorios, I don't know how to say it, like orders to their actual houses of some of the women here. There's like, you have to come and present yourself to court. Most of us are like wearing this here, but still, like they have found our identities, we're being followed home and everything. Yeah.
By the police, like the people that you would think are there to protect your freedom.
Exactly. And if we do not do this type of stuff, like,
nothing would happen. You don't have to be fluent to go to a country. You don't even need to be fluent to do what I'm doing, which is going around trying to have genuine conversations with people. People should really allow themselves to immerse themselves enough into a culture to where you don't go to a new city and you don't just go to restaurants and get drunk. You also just walk around and look. And that's where the beauty of travel is to me, because you watch how people live. You watch what people are doing. You watch what their daily life is like. And that to me is culture. This is where I feel most at home. This is where I feel most engaged visually, mentally, aesthetically, creatively. Just worried about seeing more, hearing more, feeling more, and just making myself more at home in a place as soon as possible so that I can dive in as deep as possible with as many locals as I can.
I usually have zero to minimal plans when I go to new countries or in new cities or places. This time I had made a post that I was going to be in Mexico City and Guadalajara. And a close friend of mine had reached out and said that he had met a guy named Sergio. And he had said, hey, this is a great guy and he knows the city real well, so you should go say hey to him. And we just had this great conversation right away about tattoos and art. And as we're sitting there, this kid walks in and he's just saying, hey, do you guys want to buy anything that I have? He said, my grandma took me out of school and she needs me to help support the family. And so I go around all day long and I try to sell these gelatins. And I was like, dear God, okay, so, I'm going to buy everything that you have on you. And I'm going to take you to lunch and let's all go get some lunch and have just a fun day. We just had this just an amazing day that came out of nowhere. And we're leaving and he just gave me this huge hug and he just wouldn't let go of me. And he said, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? And he just kept asking me if I was going to come back. And I said, yes, I promise you I'll come back. I promise. What was your favorite part today? Yeah, the stadium was cool. So today is a dream because I've never known how to keep making the impact that I would like to make deeper and more meaningful. A few days ago I met Angel, and so thanks to all of your incredible contributions, we have over $1,200, like $1,260. I was just blown away that we had so much money to be able to go back and do something special for Angel and his family. And so we just went everywhere. We knew he was out selling gelatin somewhere or, working somewhere. And so we just went every single street, every soccer park, every little place. And we just couldn't find him anywhere. So we just started to talk to locals.
She's been here since 12 and she hasn't seen anybody.
And then some locals said, well, it sounds like these kids are over here, so we'd go to those kids. And this one kid said, yeah, we know Angel. And then one kid said, yes, this is his grandma's house. I'll walk you to grandma's house.
Come on! Hey! Told you we're coming back, dude. What's up, boy?
Que todos los mexicanos son acá generosos.
Me, Jack, Karen, Angel, and Sergio are going to go to Walmart, and we're going to spend as much as we can at Walmart on groceries, supplies. We're going to try to buy bicycles, paper towels, important stuff. Always take care of your grandma, always respect and love her, okay?
Que siempre la cuide.
A piece of advice for people to be happy.
¿Qué les darías un consejo a la gente para que sea feliz?
Vive tu vida.
Live your life.
Live your life? What does that mean?
¿Qué quiere decir eso?
Que siga sus sueños.
Follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams. Good. go to these third world countries and you go to Mexico, you see that they have the beauty of simplicity in a mindset and in a lifestyle. And in those times, in those simple moments, you see that gratitude coming from relationships, coming from family, coming from conversation. And they're not doing anything except sitting there and just having a conversation with one another, right where they are, right at that time. True joy comes from relationships, and it comes from simplicity.